Oh, what was that? I dropped my dime. Hang tight a few seconds. You'll see how dime is related to my show. What is up, college sports fans and fellow members of Mountaineer Nation? This is Coos, and welcome to another edition of Coos' Corner, your go-to channel for college sports with a heavy dose of these West Virginia Mountaineers. Before I review West Virginia's win over Texas in college football, I want to ask that if you haven't yet, please hit the red subscribe button for me. It's absolutely free. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up and share this with your college sports loving friends, please. I would really appreciate it. It will help grow my channel and help me reach my goal of 500 subscribers by the end of the year. Let's get on with the show. It was a true blue in Morgantown today. All fans were wearing blue. Players wore all blue uniforms. So to celebrate that, I'm wearing all blue. Got my blue shirt, blue hat. Now this is an old faded hat. It's a little bit weathered, as you can see. This hat's been everywhere. It's been to the beach, to the lake. It's been to a lot of places. Except cover up this bald mug and prevent sunburn. My wife's also worn it quite a few times, so this hat's been around, but it's the only true blue hat I got. So I'm wearing it for this show. Before I actually break down the game, I want to talk about the senior day that took place in Morgantown today at Mountaineer Field and read off the names of the players who walked today on senior day and the ones who didn't. The ones who walked: Alonzo Adai, Josh Chandler-Samito, Sean Mahone, Sean Ryan, Evan Staley, Dante Steels, Tyler Sumter, Scotty Young, John Hughes, Noah Drummond, Jackie Matthews. Some notable notes there. Sean Ryan, Noah Drummond, Jackie Matthews are all actually listed as juniors on the roster. But if they've already graduated, they may choose to move on. It'll be interesting to see. Now, walking doesn't necessarily mean you still can't come back. But I would venture to guess if they were going to come back, they wouldn't have walked on senior day. Now some guys who didn't walk today that could have, who were actually seniors on the roster, but because of COVID, still have another year of eligibility. Isaiah Esdale, Vandarius Cowan, and the one that everybody's talking about, Jarrett Doege. And if anybody knows Brad Smith, the voice of Motown, please go check on him right now. He's probably not doing very good. He's the biggest Jarrett Doege hater I know, and he's probably having a meltdown right now. He might even be into a depression. Somebody please go check on Brad Smith. Okay, and I'll give you my opinion on that in just a minute. But Esdale, he was there today. He played in the game, but he's a senior, but he chose not to walk. So maybe that means he's going to come back. I hope he does. Esdale's been a good receiver for us. I think Vandarius Cowan had to sit out this game today because of the targeting penalty he got last week and the ejection. So if that's the case, and I don't remember seeing him on the field today, and even if he does not plan to come back, I'm not sure if he will be allowed to participate. I don't know the rules on that. If anybody knows that, please leave it in the comment section. I really appreciate it. Now, my thoughts on Doege. I actually think it's a good thing that he's coming back next year. Now, if you'll remember the video I did a week or so back, I don't think it would be a good idea. But since then, I've changed my mind, and here's why. I was listening to Tony Caridi's podcast 3 hours before the game that he does with Brad Howell and Hoppy Kercheval. And one of them made a comment that really made me change my mind. And they said that our quarterbacks next year are all going to be freshmen and sophomores. Very young and inexperienced. None of them have game experience in college other than Garrett Green, and it's very minimal. There would be no veteran quarterbacks in that quarterback room. It's hard to win at this level without any veteran leadership in the quarterback room. So with Doege coming back, he can be that leadership they need. And I really think with all of our offensive line, none of those names I read off, only two of them are offensive linemen, but neither one of them play much. All of our starting offensive linemen will be back next year. They're going to be a year older, a year stronger, and a year better. And if they can block well, you saw today what Doege can do when he has good protection. Okay, you saw what he can do. And I think it's going to be crucial for his leadership to be there next year. Now, let's break down the game. What are the keys for West Virginia's win today? Why'd they win the game? I'm going to give you 6 reasons. Number 1, Lady Brown rushed for over 100 yards. They fed him over 30 times. He got over 150 yards on the ground, averaged almost 5 yards a carry. Every time he does that, West Virginia wins. It's been proven. The numbers back it up. Number 2, Great protection for Jarrett Doege by the offensive line. They gave him all day to throw the football today. When he has all day, he's a good quarterback. Number 3, clean football. No turnovers on offense and only committed 3 penalties for a total of 19 yards. That's a good winning formula. The defense made stops when they had to in big moments. Texas had 2 drives in the fourth quarter that could have tied the game, and both times West Virginia's defense stepped up and stopped them. And keep in mind, this is a defense that's been decimated with injuries. Had new guys starting today. St. McLeod started at defensive back for the first time all year. Scotty Young had to move down from safety to linebacker, and I thought he played well, made some really good tackles. But they made big stops. Sean Mahone got the big interception. Happy for that kid on senior day to get an interception. That was big. So defense really stepped up and made stops today. The defense has played pretty solid all year, but today they really stepped up against a good Texas offense. Now you want to know what a dime has to do with the topic of this show? I'm going to tell you right now. 2 reasons, and both of them are keys to the victory. 1, Jarrett Doege was dropping these babies all day long. He dropped dimes today. But 2 of those touchdown passes he threw today were dimes. The one in the corner to Winston Wright Jr. was a dime, and the one I think it was in the opposite corner to Bryce Ford Wheaton was also a dime. Jarrett Doege played a great game today, and anybody that says otherwise either didn't watch it or just refuses to like the guy. I'm just going to be honest, okay? When he plays a bad game, I'll tell you, he played a bad game. This week against Texas, he played a great game. He played winning football. And if he comes back next year and does that consistently, we're going to have a really good football team. The other reason a dime is relevant to this show, and the 6th reason that West Virginia won the game today, the defensive scheme. In his post-game press conference, Neil Brown talked about how they decided to play a dime defense pretty much the entire game today. That's right, a dime defense, which is made to stop the pass. You remember my preview video. I said that one of the biggest fears I had was that Texas would take the top off our defense with Casey Thompson's long passes to Xavier Worthy. Well, Neil Brown apparently had those same concerns. Bijan Robinson, their starting back, was out today, so they decided to back up, play a dime defense with one extra defensive back, keep everything in front of them. They gave up some long run plays, but they were willing to sacrifice that to avoid the big long pass plays, and it worked. So kudos to the coaching staff for making that decision. Now, why did Texas lose the game today? I want to touch on that too. I don't normally do that, but I think it's important. Number 1, injuries. That team has been, I thought West Virginia was decimated with injuries. Texas has been decimated even worse. I mean, my gosh, they had 3 guys injured on one play. I don't know that I've ever seen that in a football game before. I actually felt bad for them a little bit today. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It was bad, and it was just really bad. Their injuries. Not making excuses for them, but it does matter. And I'll be honest with you, what I saw today, the guys on the field, I just don't think Texas is as talented as they should be. I don't know if somebody's just misrated these kids in Rivals and all these other ranking systems, these recruits. If Texas is just bad evaluators of talent, if the guys just don't fit into their system, I don't know what it is, but they just don't seem that good, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Texas's defense is just bad all around, and I don't know what else to say. And then finally, they lost a lot of players in the 2018-2019 seasons in the transfer portal because of coaching changes. So I really think if they stick with Steve Sarkisian and give him time, give him 4, 5, 6 years, he can rebuild his program and get Texas back to winning again. I really believe that, because the Texas is always going to be able to recruit talent because they're Texas. If you give a coach some time to build a program and implement his culture, Texas will win again. They got everything they need other than the patience. They need to be more patient. Quit firing coaches every 3 years. That's been proven to not work. And Texas fans, if there's any of you watching, I think you got your quarterback of the future. The Card kid is the best quarterback on your team. Casey Thompson, in my opinion, is just not the answer. The Card kid looks like the real deal. I think he needs to start for y'all next week. And I think he's going to be your quarterback of the future. Now, let's go over some stats. First, I'm going to throw the team stats up on the screen so you can have a look at them with me. Really, if you look at, in my opinion, the two biggest stats that stick out to me, third down efficiency. Look at the third down efficiency. Texas, 2 for 10. Kudos to the West Virginia defense on that. And West Virginia was 12 for 20, 60% on third down conversions. That's massive. And 2 of those third downs were third and longs. I think it was a 3rd and 15, maybe a 3rd and 19 or something like that they converted. Great job by the West Virginia offense today doing that. And then the other one, time of possession. I mean, my gosh, West Virginia had the ball for 17 more minutes than Texas did. You limit a team like Texas who has such an explosive offense, you limit their possessions, common sense, they don't get enough chances to score. And that's what West Virginia did today. Did it by A, running the football and running it more than normal, in my opinion. And 2, defense getting Texas off the field. That was critical too. Forcing them into a lot of third and outs. So, but I mean, I'm not going. I can read the stats just real quick. Total yards: Texas 355, West Virginia 459. Total passing yards: West Virginia 301 to Texas is 152. Wow, that's big too. Rushing: West Virginia 158, Texas 203. Which West Virginia was playing a dime package. They were giving up runs, and they knew they would give up runs coming in. Penalties: Texas 4 penalties, 41 yards. West Virginia 3 for 19 yards. That was nice. Turnovers: Sean Mahone had the 1 pick. That was the only turnover in the game. And then, like I said, the time of possession. Texas had the ball 21 minutes, 24 seconds. West Virginia 38 minutes, 36 seconds. Now let's go over some individual stats. First, let's touch on Texas' stats for a minute. Hudson Card was 10 out of 16 for 123 yards and a touchdown. Kid played good football. Casey Thompson, not so much. 4 out of 14, 29 yards, only 2.1 average per completion, and 1 interception. Now Casey Thompson was banged up today, so take that into consideration. But Hudson Card, in my opinion, is the best quarterback on that team. Rushing: Keilan Robinson had 9 carries for 111 yards with a 12.3 average and 1 touchdown. Roschon Johnson, 15 carries, 77 yards, 5.1 average. Receiving: Xavier Worthy. He did have 7 receptions, but only for 85 yards today. Only 12.1 yards a catch. For him, that's pretty much holding him in check. He did have the one long 52-yarder, but other than that, they kept him in check. You're not going to keep that guy in check for an entire game most of the time. He's just too good. Kid's going to be a superstar. He's only a freshman. Now, go to West Virginia's stats. Jarrett Doege, listen to these stats. 27 out of 43, 290 yards, 6.7 yards per completion, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Speaks for itself. Garrett Green did have the one play, little trick play where Doege tossed it to him and then he threw a pass. He completed it for 11 yards. Nice play. And he showed some zip on that ball. I was impressed. Rushing: Letty Brown, 33 carries, 158 yards, 4.8 yards per carry, 1 touchdown, had the long run of 26. In receiving, Winston Wright was the leading receiver on the day. He had 6 catches for 67 yards, 11.2 yards per catch for 1 touchdown. Sam James caught a touchdown, and Sean Ryan caught a touchdown. Actually, I misspoke earlier when I said Bryce Ford Wheaton caught the 1 touchdown. The one he threw to Bryce Ford Wheaton wasn't a touchdown. It was just a long play on the sideline. So he threw a long 31-yarder to Bryce Ford Wheaton down the sideline, but it wasn't for a touchdown. So my fault on that one. I misspoke. But anyway, nonetheless, it doesn't change my point. Jarrett Doege played good today. I also think T.J. Banks played good at tight end today. He only caught the 1 pass, but he blocked really well today and was really crucial in that successful running attack. And also, I thought them bringing Parker Moore in, the backup right tackle, they brought him in several times as a tight end in this game today to help with blocking as well. And I thought that was a great move by the coaching staff. Coaching staff pushed all the right buttons today, in my opinion. The only thing, that play there at the end where when they were giving the ball back to Texas, it was 4th down. We could have punted and pinned them deep potentially. I think we were at like their 40 maybe, but he chose to throw it into the end zone. I thought that was a little odd. I don't know that I would have took that chance, but he said they dialed up a play where it would either be a touchdown or an incomplete pass. But still, you gave them the ball. You gave them good field position. I thought that was really strange, but it worked. So no harm, no foul. And I also thought running 2 trick plays in a row there early in the game. They had the 1 trick play where Green threw the pass, it worked, and then they turned around and tried another trick play, like a flea flicker type play, back to back. it's hard to trick a team 2 times in a row. So I thought that was a little weird too. But there again, didn't hurt us in the end. Well, there you have it. So to summarize, West Virginia wins the game 31-23. Lady Brown rushed for over 100 yards. Defense made some big stops when they needed to in crunch time. Texas was riddled with injuries. West Virginia's riddled with injuries. And Jarrett Doege played well today. He stepped up, threw for 3 touchdowns and nearly 300 yards. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section about the game today. Give me your thoughts. If you're a Texas fan, let me know in the comment section what you think about Texas moving forward. Do you think Hudson Card is your quarterback of the future, Texas fan? I want to know that. I'll be curious to see what you think. And West Virginia fans, let me know what you think about Jarrett Doege coming back next season. I really want to know. It's okay if you disagree with me, but I want to hear your opinion. I want the dialogue. That's what makes this fun. So let me know in the comments. Also, if you haven't yet, don't forget to like and subscribe and share this. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time.